guys, it's Guðni here from Wake Up Reykjavik. And today I am talking to you, people who are either planning their trip to Iceland or dreaming of coming here one day. And if you're either one, fantastic news, this video is for you. As a local here, people often ask me how they can plan their perfect trip to Iceland. And I think a big part of that is finding that perfect day trip to do from Reykjavik. Since I always recommend people stay put in Reykjavik, the city center, and do day trips from Reykjavik to explore the island. Since then you have the best of both worlds. You have the cultural scene of Reykjavik with lots of happening there, and then you can also explore the nature in a nice, easy way with a trained professional with you every step of the way. So whether you're a first-time explorer, a nature lover, or someone looking for the most unique scenes in Iceland, I'm here to guide you in the right direction. So let's break it down and make it a bit more easier to digest. And a small disclaimer before we start diving into the day tours. My day tour recommendation to you will always depend on a few things. How much time you have here, if you've been here before, your personal preferences, and so on. However, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna give myself the premise that you're coming here to Iceland for the first time in whatever season, and that you only have time for one day trip during your stay. And if that is actually the case for you, you have to let me know in the comments, because I nailed that one. If not, still let me know when you're coming to Iceland in the comments, and I'll reply to a few of them with some local tips for that season. Now let's talk about my favorite day tours to do from Reykjavik. And the first one, I would say, is the perfect one if you're looking for an introduction to Iceland. An Icelandic 101, if you will. So for people looking for a stunning and solid introduction to Iceland, my recommendation would always be the Golden Circle Tour. If Iceland was a band, the Golden Circle would be our greatest hits album, since you can experience all of our natural uniquenesses in that one tour. Plus, it's very doable since the drive is not too long. On our classic Golden Circle tour, you can expect to visit Thingvellir, our natural park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where a parliament was actually founded in the year 930. It's also the area where the two tectonical plates meet, and it has that super clear glacier water that you can actually dive in. That tour will also visit the geothermal area around Geysir, where you can see an active geyser eruption. And of course, we hit up Gullfoss, our legendary, super powerful golden waterfall. And the best thing about this tour is that it's probably the most customizable tour in Iceland. And we here at Wake Up Reykjavik are a tour supplier. So all the tours I'm talking about in this video, we actually have listed up on our site, wakeupreykjavik.com. But trust me when I say, we only work with a handful of tour operators in Iceland that we trust to deliver the experience we want to stand behind. And that we have seen that our guests that we trust them with are super happy with. So for all these tours I'm talking about in this video, they are operated by professional in a smaller sprinter style vehicle, as opposed to the bigger tour buses. And we don't like those. And since you're watching this video, be sure to use the promo code Guðni when booking any of the tours I'm talking about, since you're planning your perfect day in Iceland with me, Guðni. So please take me with you. No, of course, that would be weird, don't. Our classic Golden Circle tour will also take you to one of my absolutely favorite restaurants in all of Iceland, Friðheimar, a geothermally heated tomato farm, and there you can purchase lunch on the spot if you want to. I highly recommend their tomato soup and bread buffet and the tomato beer. Yum, it's so good. Tomato ice cream as well, pretty decent. And that tour also includes a stop at Kerið, the volcano crater, which not all Golden Circle tours do. And then we have my favorite way of experiencing the Golden Circle, and that is to pair it with a stunning Icelandic lagoon experience. We have a Golden Circle tour that visits the Sky Lagoon, but if you would rather check out the Blue Lagoon, we also have an option that does that. Then we have a Golden Circle variant that visits Laugavatnshellar, a cave in the area, and the tour actually does an Icelandic food tasting in that cave before they wrap up their day at the Sigurd Lagoon. Very unique and very cool. But whatever lagoon you go for, I personally think is the perfect way to end a long day of sightseeing and exploring. Let me tell you, I wish I could wrap up all my days in the lagoon. It's just so cozy. So imagine this. All in one chill and scenic day. It's a perfect way to get out of the city and soak up in some of Iceland's most iconic spots, but still be back in time for dinner. And speaking of dinners, if you're looking for restaurant recommendations in the city, hit me up. I know the food scene here in Reykjavik like the back of my hand. Is that a freckle? And since the Golden Circle Tour is so customizable, we're not done. We even have a variation of the Golden Circle Tour that caters to cruise ship passengers. And that tour will have availability through the summer on selected dates when larger cruise ships are docking in the city. And that tour will actually track the ship's schedule. So if they have to dock a bit later or depart earlier for whatever reason, the tour will adjust their tour schedule according to that. And let's say even the ship is not able to dock in that morning for whatever reason, those passengers on that tour will be refunded the tour, which can be a really relaxing thing to know if you're traveling in a unique way, like with a cruise ship, where the weather and sea can play a big factor. So perfect tour for cruise ship passengers. And my next day tour recommendation would be for anyone who's a nature lover, but also off for a bit more adventure. And if that's you, then say hello to the southern coast of Iceland. This tour is an absolute showstopper. On the South Coast tour, you will see 2 stunning waterfalls. They both give you the option to get a bit more up and close with them. First up, we have Skógarfoss, a waterfall that actually has stairs that track them along the way, so you can walk alongside the waterfall all the way to the top. But mind you, those steps are 527 to be exact. And yes, I counted. I sure got my steps in that day. And then we have probably my favorite waterfall in Iceland, Sigilsnes, a waterfall that you can actually walk behind. And if you ask your tour guide nicely, he might even take you to a secret waterfall close to Sigilsnes. But hey, only if you're nice, and that's a very special stop. But mind you, you might have to walk on a few rocks to get to that waterfall. Exciting, I know. The South Coast also has the most famous and probably the most dangerous black sand beach in the world, Reykjavik. But don't worry, if you stick with your group and follow your tour guide's instruction, you'll be absolutely fine. It also offers a view of Sólheimajökull, a breathtaking glacier, and a visit to the coastal town of Vík. So there's a very valid reason for why some of the most epic shots in Game of Thrones were shot in that area. And now with this description, you can imagine that this tour will give you a bit more freedom to walk around and explore the area a bit more in depth, like with walking up the stairs or walking behind the waterfall. But don't worry, even though your physical fitness is not the best, this tour is still very doable for most. So the smaller style Sprinter van will allow the tour access to drive very close to each attraction, and then you can just wander around as much or as little in that area as you would like. And our classic South Coast tour is a full day of exploring and sightseeing, but if you're a true adventure seeker, we do have some other variants available. The South Coast and Glacier Hike tour will give you time to walk on Sólheimajökull, and it's a stunning walk, and it's not super physically demanding, but it's absolutely breathtaking. My favorite part, going down there and drinking water straight from the glacier. I feel so Icelandic when I do that. Stunning spot, stunning experience. And then we have a lot of people that ask us about exploring the Glacier Lagoon area paired with the South Coast. And I would never advise a day trip from Reykjavik to the Glacier Lagoon. And the very simple reason for it is that the drive one way is 5 hours, just from Reykjavik to the lagoon. So just to drive to there and back, it's 10 hours with 0 stops and 0 sightseeing along the way. Yeah, no thanks. And that is why we started offering a 2-day South Coast tour. And that's a tour that will visit all the sites I just talked about, and they will break them up between the 2 days. Then they will also drive all the way to the Glacier Lagoon to experience the Glacier Lagoon and the Diamond Beach. And then depending on the season, you have another unique activity in that tour. In the summertime, it's paired with a glacier hike. And in the wintertime, when the conditions are right, it's paired with an ice cave expedition, which is super cool and so much fun. And that tour, as the name gives out, will stay overnight at an accommodation, and everything I just mentioned would be included in that 2-day tour price. And my last day tour recommendation would be a tour to do if you're looking for something even more unique. And why do I say that? Sigilsnes, the really hard to pronounce area, has often been referred to as the mini Iceland, because just in that area, you have all of Iceland's elements packed in one location. And it's an area that us locals have been visiting for hundreds of years now, but travelers are just realizing how special it actually is. So in the Sigilsnes area, you will see lava fields, dramatic cliffs, black and white beaches, fishing villages, iconic mountains, spooky black churches, and even the glacier that inspired the journey to the center of the earth. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, that's because it is pretty cool. I know. This is a tour we offer where I think the itinerary is just perfect. You will see all the stops I just talked about, plus some added secret ones. I don't want to spoil everything in the video, guys. But what I think makes this tour truly special is the included lunch stop at a local horse farm. So the tour will actually visit a local horse farm in the area where the farmers themselves that day have laid out a buffet of seasonal Icelandic food. So you'll get in there, try out super tasty, very unique, and it's so much fun to be there on the actual farm and talk to the farmers and see the horses and everything. And it's included in the tour price. So convenient, so nice. I love the Sigilsnes area of Iceland, and for anyone who wants to dive a bit more into our nature, I say go for this tour. And lastly, some booking pointers. Like I mentioned, we have small group experiences, So the sprinters we use for our tours only have 19 seats in them. So you have maximum 19 people per tour, never more, sometimes less. But that is why they do tend to sell out. So as soon as you know you're coming, book your tickets to secure them and get them on the best possible rates. We also have a very flexible cancellation and amendment policy, so no worries there. You can also do any of the tours I talked about in this video privately. And if you want any more information on that, just send us an email to info@wakeupreykjavik.com and we'll talk it over. Or if you just have some juicy gossip, send it my way. RE gossip for Goodney. I mean, I will be here for it. And of course, don't forget to use the promo code Goodney when booking any of the tours. I'm so grateful you guys watched this video. I really appreciate it, and I sure hope I see you in our new subscribers category. So thanks for watching. Bye.